Hey guys, it's Saturday of BlizzCon. Yesterday we got to watch the epic finale of the WCS Global Finals. I am here now with Temp0, about to talk to him about StarCraft stuff and daily life stuff and all that. He recently released a new video song, more importantly song, that you should definitely check out, and that is most what you're known for doing in the StarCraft scene, but I know you're a more complicated person than that. So how about you go ahead and introduce yourself in a brief TLDR of what you have done in the StarCraft scene.
All right. My name is Temp0. I've mainly been known, like ZG was saying, for doing songs, parodies, and kind of just like taking things in the game and putting them into musical form, as well as the community and the esports side of things. But recently I've been more doing like casting, streaming, pretty much just like introducing a lot of more people to the game that, you know, may not necessarily either know about it or follow the pro scene. So I like to do certain things like that. Like the video that I did was mainly to kind of awaken all of my subscribers that were just chilling there and let them know that BlizzCon was going on. Like the first thing I put there was watch the WCS finals, like watch it, with the link to it. So that's my jam.
Very cool. So are you a full-time streamer?
Kind of, I would say. Like I've been streaming a little bit less. I do work a little part-time, but for the most part, like it's one of my main sources of income and something that I spend a lot of my time doing. So
So what would you say your aspirations are for StarCraft?
Right now, so that was the main thing now, like just to be able to do different things. Like I wanted to do like a bit of casting, but I didn't want to like follow a casting career. So I'm kind of like this hand in this jar, hand in that jar, hand in this jar. But I think going forward, I would say the main thing that I would want to specialize in would be the music aspect, because I think that's something that's missing. So I want to offer something that isn't being offered, or at least is, you know, not something that a lot of people are doing, if not anybody, and then, you know, be able to, you know, use my unique perspective to kind of deliver something about StarCraft 2 that people don't know about.
There's definitely no one really doing songs anymore. I guess back in the day there was like the Baneling song. Right?
I know, right?
All those guys. But it's very rare now, and I think in general, just like art, right? Like artistic expression's kind of rare in StarCraft, which is a really big bummer. You watch Overwatch and all the fan art they get.
That's like a whole Reddit, you know, like fan art and all that.
Exactly, and it is missing. So do you think that's a really important thing to draw in the casual crowd or to keep them here watching StarCraft?
I think so, yeah, because it's crazy. Even I haven't made a song in so long, right? Or at least released one. And the comments are still like flowing, you know, and you see people like, yo, like, man, bringing me back to this time. And like every time I watch this video, I cry or I get this nostalgia. And I think like it's really important to kind of take a snapshot of the time, you know, period that the videos kind of represent. So like, no matter what, you can always kind of look back on it, and like whether it's a song, I mean, it doesn't have to be a song, but like just having the videos showing like StarCraft at that state. It's almost just like this giant mosaic of everything going on, and you know, you can listen to it like, it's, you know, in the catchy way. It makes you kind of just remember it that way. But the main thing I think is like showing exactly like this stage, right? Like right now, all right, battle cruisers, Nidus worms, and like all this, you know, crazy stuff that like kind of get people's gears grinded and all that. I think when you take it and you kind of make a comedic version, or at least a comedic way to deal with it, instead of kind of raging about it and being like, oh, here goes this worm, you know, here goes the Nidus in this worm once again. Like,
I've never raged about it.
Oh, no, never, right? Oh, of course not. Yeah. But like, you know, taking like the feeling of, I guess, the community and like the meta, and then putting it into a song form that you can kind of laugh at the end of the day. Yeah. Even if, you know, it might make you want to break your keyboard sometimes, but...
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I think a lot of your songs are timeless, right? Like, you just put on any of your songs and really, like, you know, get the feeling going and go and grind a Grandmaster and all that. But you're kind of like almost, you know, seeing it as like, you know, I want to be able to say, like, that person goes back and it's like, oh, yeah, Brulid Infestor, but funny.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, wow, do you remember? Like,
yeah. And that's really cool because for those who don't know, Temp0's been in the scene basically, like, even longer than I have been. I mean, we went back in like 2011, like so long ago. So you've been here the entire time, really. Yeah. You know, back then it didn't feel like you were part of the OG crew, because like the OG crew were the Brood War guys.
Yeah, right.
But now, come 2019, me and you are like actually OGs.
It's like, it's weird. It feels good, right? Yo, represent, yo. Me and ZG represent. Like, I think, I forget who it is that I ran into, and then it was Sunset, you know? So Amelia, she works in Blizzard right now. And then we're like looking back and we're like, dang, it's been like 8 9 years, you know, like since
Yeah.
like we've known each other. And as far as that, like, you know, she's always motivated me. She's like, hey, Tempo, you got to do more songs. Hey, Tempo, yeah, you know, streaming's cool and all, but you need to do more songs. Like, duh. And then I think about it after, like, you know, she says it, and I'm just like, you know what? It's been a long time, like, since first started doing it. And, like, I'm glad that at least I can kind of look back on it. And, like, I go on a nostalgia trip a lot of the times, and people do. And what I mentioned about the comments was that, like, you know, people can kind of go back to that no matter what. Even if they don't play the game anymore, sometimes it makes them come back to either play it because it is free to play now, or just even watch the tournaments, you know, and see what's going on.
Yeah. Is this how you perceive that you would be like 8 years later? Or did you ever have dreams of being a caster, or just like, did you think you're just being kind of like out of StarCraft at this point?
I felt like I would always be in StarCraft in a way, because like with that kind of content, you can kind of, no matter what, always come and go like that, right? So there was a time, I don't know, I didn't really want to be like, I'm going to be a caster, you know? I would do it. I would do a lot of online stuff. I do like the Cheesadelphia and all that stuff as well. But I think it would be cool to be able to, you know, do like the premiere event, like have that dream like Ravi when he was like, hey, by the end of the year, I'm going to cast a WCS or a premiere event, like, and then make it happen. But I don't know. I don't think it's like a thing that me necessarily want to only do. You know, I think the main thing that I would like to do would be that kind of content creation, like the music, and then, you know, putting the videos together and stuff like that. But I never want to stop casting either. Like I love to. I do love casting.
I know for a little while there, you were actually very interested in potentially hosting.
Yeah.
Are you still interested in doing that?
I think so. Yeah, that would be something I would love to do actually too. Right. So to be able to like that, because I feel like as a host. One, as a caster, you know, you're telling the story of the game itself and like, you know, the players and all that. And as a host, you kind of like bring the people in no matter like who they are, where they're coming from. It's just like, hey, you know, like this is the event, and like showing how awesome it is right then and there before the casters take it and like really get to the nitty gritty of it. Yeah,
like the host can be like the spine of a book, you know?
Yeah,
like you guys just kind of pull it all together.
You could have a lot of good pages, but if, you know, the books are raggedy and all, and the pages are meshing up and down, and you got like page 24 before... you know, 12 it's not a really good idea, but I think that would be cool. I think it's like and it's also a skill set I feel like can translate to like other things that doesn't necessarily need to be
Well, I think you have a lot of skills right now that translate directly into hosting, and then if you did hosting, you'd probably be able to do it and like bring it back to whatever you do now and to just performing in general.
Oh yeah, I think that's really what it comes down to, and why I was thinking about it, because like performing, that's like a thing that like I used to be stage fright, you know what I mean? Like nervous. I was not always, you know, so upbeat. Like, you know, like I would be, you know, upbeat in myself, but not like able to express it as much. Yeah. But I think like just being in the scene helped a lot. Like I did a little bit in like high school, you know, like some performances, but in most, I was kind of like, you know, quieter. I was definitely a little bit more of a quiet kid.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a common story, I think, throughout a lot of us. I mean, obviously, we're kind of like default going to be assumed to be introverts, which isn't wrong, or to be the shy kids growing up, which isn't wrong. Some people aren't like that. Like, I think Day 9 has always been...
He's probably, right? Yeah. You think of him like...
I don't know. He did actually say that he was shy when he was like in middle school, and then he like learned to be, but... Anyways, a lot of us will say like, well, when we learn to talk about something passionately, it just became so much easier.
Exactly.
You know, you just felt confident.
And once you do it a couple of times and you like realize like, oh, I can do that, you know what I mean? And like, it ain't that scary, you know, you say there. You're still going to get nervous, because I feel like they always say if you're not nervous, then you don't care enough. But you find it that like, you know, once you get over the hurdle of just like doing it and just, you know, expressing it with anything, it's not necessarily just performing, but even like you know, casting, hosting. Yeah. And then I would even say just anything in general, like public speaking, I guess too, is a thing like that too.
Like being a good public speaker, I know it feels like a drag for people taking it like in high school and college. You're like, I'm just not going to be a speaker when I grow up, but there's like a lot of respect to be earned when you just know how to carry yourself and speak well, and you'll be surprised when you're like, that person just like seemed to have it all together.
Exactly, yeah.
It's because they know how to publicly speak, basically, even if it's just like one-to-one.
Exactly. I think so that's a big thing. Yeah, that's a big thing that I think that I learned. As far as the casting, that's what helped me. So I take the casting part of me to I attribute it to being able to like say things and like, you know, enunciate things and make sure that people are understanding what I'm saying, and like, you know, you kind of want to make sure that you're not just like fumbling too much, or But at the end of the day, it's not like the end of the world if you do fumble and all that. But
Yeah,
you
that's-
just try to like work on it to do it less.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
think that's what it is, right? Like,
that's the biggest thing. Everyone's like, what if I screw up? And it's like,
Yeah.
watch any like keynote speaker. They mess up and they just keep going.
It's okay.
So.
Like that's the main thing. Always keep going. Like that's the goal. Even if you need to take a second to just like, who's just like take that time, because if you like kind of like freak out, then it's gonna
Yeah.
go and kind of say snowball and cascade. But
Yeah, you don't want to be the person that like messes up and then just like,
yeah. Like I can't do this anymore.
yeah, that's the worst case scenario.
Yeah. But-
So as like a general like performer, entertainer, is it just StarCraft that you're ever gonna do? Do you have any interest in other games or just in general performing?
I would say I would definitely like to, take it to other games, even just like the state of mind in general. Like if sometimes people say, hey, I listen to like Just Hit Play, and even though I'm expressing it as a StarCraft song, you can kind of apply it to
anything.
a lot of other like games or even just
Yeah.
different tasks in general. So I think like that's I don't ever want to just say, no, I'm only going to do StarCraft 2. That's me for life. Yeah, let's go. You're like, it is StarCraft till I die. But, there's a whole world out there, and there's a lot of different interests that I do have. And I think that doing any kind of song, people can relate to music. I feel like almost anybody can. So.
Yeah. Is there anything you're particularly passionate about right now, gaming-wise?
Right now, just doing that song, like realizing that, like when I really get passionate about something,
Yeah.
this BlizzCon, like this was something that I was on the fence about at first. I was like, I don't know, it's in California and I don't know if I can afford it or this or that. But I'm like, no, I need to see, I love the community. Like, this was one of the things that I felt like I would regret if I didn't come to, because I didn't get to go to Montreal. I didn't get to go
Yeah.
to a couple other things. So I think, just seeing people, kind of vibing off of it, and then making the music that I want to. I would say StarCraft 2 is my main thing that I'm like the most passionate about still, about making the music, and then I feel like, it'll get easier to, talk about or write about other things as well, and see, because people say like, hey man, we need that in the Heroes community, we need that positivity, hey yo, do this Overwatch song, yo,
Yeah.
like, or this or that. But you're like, what, I play all these games, so I don't see why not.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Did you ever?
did a Dota one. There was like a
Really? A
yeah.
Dota one?
Have you ever heard of the Hamilton, the play?
The play, yeah.
Yeah. So they did like one of those. It was Alexander Hamilton, and the
Yeah.
Dota community came to me, and I was like featured on one of those things. So like I think
No
doing
idea.
yeah. So like
I would like Dota was left field for me hearing that because I didn't know you had to learn Dota at all.
I'm horrible at Dota, but it's one of those things where I didn't know too much about the game, but I watch like the international for the most part.
sure.
I'll say it straight up, like I don't follow Dota that much, but I watch the international. It's exciting. I know a lot of StarCraft guys like Dota as well.
Yep.
And then the community came, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, sure. I'll do it up. I'll do
That's
it up.
awesome.
So
I thought it'd be more like an Overwatch thing or something because I've seen you play that game.
I
But
do, yeah.
But yeah,
Overwatch.
Dota. I guess it just proves that it really does just like transcend.
Yeah, I guess so,
genres
right?
and whatever. So
I guess Warcraft 3 is coming out, and
Yeah.
the thing about that is I remember playing the campaign,
Yeah.
and I borrowed the CD from my friend in college, and I was getting into the campaign, and then my boy, he took his game back before I was done, so I never even got to do the multiplayer. I didn't get to finish the campaign. I still haven't.
Oh, man.
So I think Warcraft 3 Reforged is going to be something that I'll probably at least explore a bit.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's a great segue. We're at BlizzCon. There was a
Uh-huh.
ton of really cool announcements. Overwatch 2, Diablo 4,
Yep.
and then Reforged officially got talked about more and is actually playable.
Yep.
I finally got to play it, and it's a port. It's just one-to-one in
Just-
terms of the feeling of it.
Okay.
But the graphics are very, very different. Have you tried to play it yet?
I haven't yet, and I got here late, so
Yeah, you
I'm
did,
kind of
yeah.
I'm kind of just now being able to do everything. So I'm gonna be playing. We played Overwatch 2. It was me and Toast. He said he was.
How was that?
It was really well put together. Like the it almost gives me a Left 4 Dead kind of feel, but with
Oh.
like an actual
That's-
storyline. That's like like they
Okay.
actually have like storyline. So. It's like, you and like 3 other people, at least what we did. It's like you and 3 other people. It's like a PvE kind of.
Yeah.
So they had both PvE and the PvP, but we did the PvE. And it was like, like killing waves and stuff, like little objectives that you had to do.
Yeah,
and
okay,
getting
so it's all
power-ups
good.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it almost kind of reminds me of Heroes a little bit too. Like, you know how you pick like talents? I don't know.
Yeah.
So you like pick like certain talents and whatnot, and then you get like items and.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
cool.
It's a different take. I think it's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, but you're gonna check out Warcraft Reforged
I think
next?
that's what my probably what I'm most excited about, because it's something that I love the strategy RTS genre anyway. So I'm more personally interested in Warcraft than I am in Overwatch, but I'm just a little bit happy. I'm like well, a lot of it happy because of the fact that my boy, if you watch this, man, you took away the CD from me before I was able to beat the game. And it all culminates. It comes to this moment of it coming out Reforged, and I'm gonna have an opportunity to actually.
Don't we all have those stories? I like played Warcraft a lot when I was younger. No one stole a CD from me or anything, but
It was his CD, so he had every right to, but it's still kind of messed up, right?
I know, right? But like there was a kid named Corey.
Oh, Corey. With the EY or a Y?
EY.
You gotta watch out for the EYs.
Yeah, seriously. And he was like, oh, you play Warcraft? We should play together with my other friends. And I was like an arcade person, so I was like, I guess I'll try Warcraft teams, and I was bad. And the other guys were like, they told him that like they didn't like want me playing with him anymore.
No, they
and instead of like
didn't.
standing up for me like a real bro, he was like, yeah, sorry,
What?
like they don't want to play. I'm sorry.
Corey.
Yeah, exactly.
Corey.
Exactly.
Corey.
Bad memories, man.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
You get that redemption story though.
Yeah, well now I'm
You're
gonna
"Look at
find
me
him
now."
again
You're
and be like
"Look at
kick
me
his
now."
ass.
Yeah,
Like,
I hope you do.
yeah. But that's that's what we're looking forward to in Warcraft Reforged, actually.
I think so. All our friends that betrayed us back then.
Yeah, that beat us up too.
We're not gonna reforge that friendship though. That's for sure.
Hey, that's a
Hell
good
no.
one. Way with the words.
That's why they pay me the big bucks. Yeah.
But seriously, like that's gonna be a new fun like RTS, because I think everyone who does play
lot of people.
StarCraft,
Right.
there's very few RTSs out there that actually
Right.
fit the pacing of Blizzard
I
RTSs.
agree. Yeah.
So even though Warcraft is actually very, very different, it's still that simple understanding but complicated depth.
Exactly.
That like I feel like the RTS is actually just immediately are like, here's a bunch of stuff, and you're like,
Overwhelming, you know, and it's just like.
yeah. But the pacing as well is always so good, so much better in Blizzard RTSs. So I think everyone's in StarCraft is excited about
Pretty
Warcraft.
excited, yeah. I am.
Yeah.
I know I am, right? Like I didn't play. This funny part is when I first started playing like StarCraft, I didn't even know that there was a whole multiplayer scene or like anything.
Yeah, neither did I.
Because like I bought StarCraft in London. I was in London and I bought like StarCraft and Brood War, like a combo disc.
Oh, okay.
And I just played the campaign, and after that I was done. Like I didn't even like play. I'm like, oh, that was cool.
Weirdo.
This was like dirt. I know. Like, and my boy, so one of my best friends, he actually was like obsessed with Jaedong.
Yeah.
Like he was his favorite player, and he would watch like all of the, the
OSLs
cast,
and
all
stuff,
those ones,
yeah.
that they would like cast over. You know what I mean, like old
yeah.
school style.
Yeah.
And he never told me about it. He never told me about it. But luckily, he has a redemption story because he's the one that bought me StarCraft 2 for my birthday. So
that is a redemption
I
story.
forgive him for that.
I was gonna say maybe he just was like a closet nerd. And
Didn't want to like be like. Oh,
He's like, I love this guy named Jaedong, and Tempo's like, haha.
because we're in like middle school too, so I probably would.
Exactly.
I would have.
I understand it, dude. But I think a lot of us, like our generation, kind of grew up around the time that Warcraft did. And Warcraft 3 was so impactful because it was also one. I feel like to me it was one of the more. It was that time period where online access was actually pretty common, as opposed to like when Brood War was released. I feel like I still had no idea how to connect to the internet.
Yeah.
Granted, I was like 10, but
Had, like,
still.
the 56K
exactly.
modems, and you had to kick everybody off the phone, and if somebody called you in the middle of a game, you would get disconnected. So
Yep,
it was
stealing
dark times.
It was
a dark timeline, as Ravi would say,
Yeah.
all weekend.
And then, of course, they came out with World of Warcraft. So, that was just impactful in the gaming scene entirely. So, even though we're all StarCraft fans that everyone's talking to here, I feel like Warcraft actually might have had a more dramatic impact on like our generation's playtime.
'Cause that was me. Like I'm a big RPG nerd. Like that's my thing. Like that I love. And RTS was something that I kind of was like, all right, I'll play the campaign for. Had no idea about multiplayer RTS at all.
Yeah.
And that's when I fell in love with RTS, was when the King of the Beta tournament with Day 9 hosting it with like JP. And that's when I was like, okay, I got to get into this, and then bam, here we are.
The rest is history,
The rest
as
is
we
history,
say.
baby.
Yeah. So what's looking forward here? I mean, you're going to be playing a lot of Reforged on stream, a lot of
I'll try it out.
StarCraft?
Yeah, I think I'm still trying to get GM one day, right? Like I gotta really get like a boot camp going. Like I got to get somebody or a group of people to just be like, all right, Tempo, look, you got to focus. This is what you need to do. Bam, bam, we're gonna get it. Cause like that'll be like, you know, a life goal for me, where it's like, you know, that day where I see the golden.
Yeah. Be careful, man. Don't fly too close to the sun. All right.
I know, right? But but yeah, I'll definitely in the future get like into it, Warcraft Reforged, so that I can see exactly like what I've missed, because I've been watching like Grubby. I think he's been playing a lot of regular Warcraft. Todd on his stream has been playing a lot of Warcraft, so I've been kind of like watching that. I've never really watched like a Warcraft 3 tournament though, you know, like, and watch it being commentated that much. So I think that'll be cool to yeah.
It doesn't happen too often. I mean, there's Back to Warcraft, which we're actually here, by the way. But yeah, it's not super popular. Yeah. Just like Age of Empires actually has tournaments still, and they're like,
I didn't know that.
Okay.
And that's another game that I didn't know about. Like,
yeah, a lot of passionate people are going to be coming back for Reforged. I mean, it's already happened with, as you said, Grubby and Todd and all that. They're also taking a very different approach with Reforged compared to remastered Brood War. Yeah. Very different.
That's completely right. Like,
yeah. So it's actually going to be a new game, unlike Brood War, which was the same. Yeah. They've been balance patching and breaking things and fixing things for the last like year or so, because that's what you learn when you watch Todd.
Right?
Yeah, okay. Humans are so broken.
Yeah, you're right. And Grubby's more kind of like, hey, you know. That's an interesting change, you know.
So
interesting
nice
is always like an interchangeable word for people for like broken or bull.
It's like, that's a dumb idea, and but you say that's an interesting.
That's a very interesting idea. You know, it's like and then
this has been a very interesting interview.
I don't know how to take that, ZG. Wow.
But it's going to be like, I think, just like general new experience. We'll see how like you know, the general public really latches onto it, because this is also,
that's going to be a big thing, right? Like how is it going to resonate with the community? Like who's going to be the main like adopter of watching it, right? Like is it going to be a big European scene? Are we going to have like NA players?
Well, it's got to be a big Chinese scene.
Chinese scene for sure, 100%, right? Yeah. Like that's where it's huge. But I'm wondering, right? Like RTS obviously isn't like the most popular genre right now, but I don't know. I think with stuff like that, Warcraft 3, depending on who actually latches on, especially like, I don't know, productions, tournament organizers.
Yeah, I mean, if it's really popular on Twitch, inevitably there's going to be dollars attached to that. We'll see if it actually sticks.
Yeah,
you know?
I think it's kind of interesting, right? Like to actually speculate and see, like,
we can do a lot of speculation. Let's take the whole entire video,
right?
But I think just TLDR, everyone's kind of excited about it. Another RTS to play as well. I think we've like gradually moved like off camera, by the way. This is gonna be like the only time it's in frame. The end though. So looking forward for you, just more RTS, more fun times in your stream. I know you've been streaming like quite a decent bit.
Yeah. So like, that's like the main. I just love it, you know, as far as like interacting. I think that's my biggest thing and why I'm here. Interact with the fam pretty much and see everybody, and that's what I get to do online with streaming too. So. Yeah.
Tempo's a great guy, guys. You should definitely check him out. So this is going to be the end of the interview, segueing right into the shout-outs. Where can everyone find you, amazing Tempo?
So you can check me out on Twitter, Team Tempo with the 0. Instagram, too. I've been a little bit more active on that, you know, trying to get with the times and all that. And also Twitch, twitch.tv/Temp0, because I'm ice cold.
Whoa, man. Definitely check him out. Make sure to check out his most recent song that was released.
Oh, yeah, YouTube, because I'm going to actually start uploading to that, too. So youtube.com/Tempo with the 0.
There you go. Thanks for watching this interview, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.